but yeah, priorities when we arrive at Mars are to set up an initial habitat, whether that means staying in the spaceship or building something on the surface, or if you've brought a boring machine, digging out a tunnel and setting up shop in there. Other priorities are setting up obviously a power plant to power your efforts that you're doing. So that will probably initially be a bunch of solar mats that you roll out onto the desert, but very possibly some kind of thorium nuclear reactor or other small fission reactor that can be set up on the surface as well. They do exist commercially, believe it or not. You can buy a small nuclear reactor these days that fits in a shipping container. But I don't know how many customers those companies have, because it's so fraught with PR issues.
Yeah, I think they just need like one, and
they
make profit.
That's it. But that form factor would be perfect for transporting on the Starship, because it would fit in a cargo Starship's fairing. And if it is a thorium reactor, which are supposed to be kind of the holy grail of cheap and abundant power, there's thorium in spades all over Mars. It's thorium rich, so it's practical if that's doable. I still don't know what the issue is, why thorium reactors haven't taken off, because I saw lots of really interesting documentaries about them years ago. So I don't understand what the issue is, but
we'll probably get there. Like somebody will make one, and then we'll see like, oh yeah, it works. Let's make two, and then we'll have 50 of them. That's how everything goes, right?
Earth's surface is rich in thorium as well, so it seems kind of a no-brainer. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. But whatever they do, they need to set up power generation, and something that is essential to set up is in situ resource utilization, or basically a fuel plant that pulls carbon out of the atmosphere and does a chemical process on it to create methane that will then refuel the ship. And as a byproduct of that process, you'll get water and oxygen, which you
That's what I wanted to ask. How do we get water? Because H2O is the most important part there. So you take what?
So it's a process called the Sabatier process, and I'm not a chemist, so I'm probably going to get a lot of this wrong, but you bring along a tank of hydrogen, and that's the sort of what Mars is deficient in. But you bring a hydrogen tank, you run it through this machine that does chemical stuff. And you get
we're getting pro level here on the
we're really getting technical here.
All right.
You get methane and water out of it, and you can electrolyze the water then back into hydrogen and oxygen.
Nice.
And so for a rocket to work, you need a fuel, which for the Starship is methane. And part of the reason they chose methane is because you can do this process on Mars. And you also need
a few steps ahead while making the rockets.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, awesome.
You also need a source of oxygen to oxidize your fuel and burn it. And so for rockets, because there's no air in space, you can't pull the oxygen out of space, and there's no oxygen on Mars. It's a carbon dioxide atmosphere. You use a tank of liquid oxygen. So standard rocket construction includes a tank of liquid oxygen for when they're not in the atmosphere anymore.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.